Hey guys, welcome to Shreveport-Bossier City, Louisiana, and the 2019 Kayak Bass Fishing National Championship. Over the past 10 years, kayak fishing has exploded in popularity around the world. From saltwater to freshwater, people have learned that kayaks aren't just affordable and easy to transport, but they offer major tactical advantages. As more and more anglers have chosen kayaks, kayak bass fishing events have popped up around the country. 2016 brought the first ever Kayak Bass Fishing National Championship, where 240 anglers duked it out for the largest payout purse in the history of kayak fishing. Every year since, the event has grown in numbers and prestige, with 2018 seeing more than 750 anglers competing for a historic $100,000 first place payout. This year, the most anticipated kayak fishing event of the year has moved to Shreveport-Bossier City, Louisiana, where over 460 anglers are competing for big money, but more importantly, for bragging rights as the next Kayak Bass Fishing National Champion. Hey guys, Chad Hoover, Kayak Bass Fishing, and welcome to the 2019 Kayak Bass Fishing National Championship from Shreveport, Louisiana. I'm joined again by my good buddy Gene, the Fluke Master Jensen. I'm going to turn it over to Gene and let him tell you a little bit about what we got going on here.
Here in Shreveport-Bossier City, we have over 460 anglers vying for up to $80,000 in this tournament on one of the best fisheries in the country.
All right, so what Gene's saying is up to $80,000. This year, the guaranteed payout is $50,000, but we have almost $46,000 in guaranteed bonus bucks payouts, but one angler can probably only take home about $34,000, so that means they have a shot at $84,000 in that first place position. But we're also doing a big bass this year, which means every hour on the hour, the angler who catches the biggest fish takes home a bonus. And then the overall biggest bass caught for the event is going to take that total up to $5,000. So we've got like a tournament within a tournament, and then we cut to the top 100 in this 3-day national championship, and those 100 go on into day 3 to fish for the title of the 2019 Kayak Bass Fishing National Champion. So Gene, tell these folks a little bit about what's going on right now. Where is the fishery at? What kind of conditions is it in? What's the weather like?
So if you had to choose the optimum conditions to catch trophy bass, we're sitting in the middle of them. We're right in the middle of the spawn. We got fish that are pre-spawning. We got fish that are post-spawning. It's like a perfect storm right now, so it's gonna be awesome.
So we're fishing the Red River, we're fishing Caddo Lake, we're fishing Cross Lake, Black Cypress Bayou, and Lake Bistineau. And man, I'm telling you, this time of year, with this weather, with these anglers, is gonna put up some of the biggest fish that we've ever had in a kayak bass fishing event. So I'm gonna turn it over to Scott Butcher and let Scott explain to you how a catch photo release tournament works.
All right guys, one of my favorite things about kayak bass fishing and what they've absolutely done right is conservation of the fisheries. The way we do that is with catch photo release. It's what we call CPR in the sport. And the big boat fishing world, what they go by is poundage. What we go by in the kayak industry is inches. The way we get those inches is using a catch board. What this is a measuring device that allows us to get an accurate description of the fish. You also get an identifier. That identifier is what lets us know that you're fishing that tournament today. What we do is you lay your fish on your board, you make sure that your identifier is somewhere in the photo where it can be seen. You'll use your cell phone to snap a photo of the fish, making sure that you're getting both tail and head, either using the camera on your phone or even uploading directly to the Tourney X app. So I tell you what, we'll kick it to the judges and let Joe tell you exactly what he's looking for to accurately identify the size of your fish.
Thanks, Scott. Off-site, we have KBF members who are certified as judges. We're going to be looking at this fish. They'll blow it up, make sure that everything looks right, the mouth is closed, the nose up against the bump board, make sure the fish hasn't been caught earlier by the same angler. But if it checks out, they'll accept the fish, and that score then is added to the leaderboard.
All right guys, so that's how a catch photo release tournament works. But before we head out on the water, I gotta thank this guy right here. This is John Hipsher from YakAttack. This event would not be possible. In fact, the Kayak Bass Fishing Series wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the folks at YakAttack. Not only does YakAttack continue to drive the innovation in the sport, continue to provide those rigging solutions, but YakAttack also produces the trophies that give the anglers the recognition. John, talk to us about YakAttack's involvement in KBF.
We're making kayak fishing products, designed and made by kayak anglers. And that's a huge part of it, is to be able to give these guys a solution to make their time on the water easier, more efficient, more effective. And as this sport grows and as kayak bass fishing and KBF grows, these guys are gonna need better gear, smarter gear, and that's what we're here for.
Well, John, I appreciate the support. 461 anglers are about to duke it out for over $50,000, and somebody's gonna go home and hoist that trophy over the top of their head. The Kayak Bass Fishing National Championship is presented by Torqeedo, makers of the 403 ultralight kayak motor. YakAttack, make it yours. NRS, makers of the Chinook and Chinook PFDs for kayak anglers. Jackson Kayak, first to innovation. Louisiana, feed your soul. And tune in for all things kayak fishing by heading over to kayakbassfishing.com. Hey guys, welcome to day one of the 2019 Kayak Bass Fishing National Championship here from beautiful Shreveport-Bossier City. We got guys over my right shoulder from Texas, from West Virginia, and Florida. So guys, which one of y'all's taking home the title of national champion? All right, so these guys are not only fishing for $80,000, but they're fishing for the prestige of being the 2019 Kayak Bass Fishing National Champion.
I'm a little nervous.
We chose to bring the Kayak Bass Fishing National Championship to Shreveport-Bossier City, Louisiana, because this area has so much backwater. If you want to crown a kayak bass fishing national champion, why not take them to the place that stacks up perfectly for our style of fishing? In 2019, not only are we crowning a champion in the state of Louisiana, but we've partnered with Louisiana Travel to bring on an event called the No Man's Land Free-for-All. That event runs from February 15th to October 31st, celebrating the heritage of becoming Louisiana. But what's perfect is kayaks also are able to get into the places that others can't and catch fish in no man's land.
All right, so we are about 4.5 miles from the boat ramp. I stopped to look at the NRS leaderboard, and currently the national champion from 2 years ago, Mr. Matt Ball, is in the lead with 65 inches, right at an hour into the tournament, and he's already got one over 20 inches in the boat. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a barn burner.
Well, boy, there's a lot to throw at.
All right, so we just ran into Dwayne Taft. He's taking advantage of having that Torqeedo, being able to move around from place to place and covering a lot of water.
And because I have a Torqeedo, I'm just gonna go catch up to him.
Anytime you're the defending champion of anything, it comes with a lot of pressure. But Dwayne Taft had some added pressure because Dwayne Taft was not only defending the national championship, but he was also doing it in his home waters.
I'm just gonna start covering as much water as I can. Working these grass lines, and there's some old dead lily pads, stuff like that. I'm gonna start running a swim bait through there and see if I can't get something working, get something going.
So one question that comes up on a pretty regular basis is there a home field advantage for anglers that live and fish in that area more often than anglers that don't? But I'm gonna tell you, I don't personally think that anglers that live in and around a lake necessarily have that big of an advantage. One of the things that happens is they have go-to places. And sometimes if you take a look at a fishery and you dissect it with a fresh set of eyes, you don't get your judgment as clouded as you would should you have a lot of preconceived notions about where the fish are gonna be.
How you doing? I'm Vincent. Just caught my 4th fish in the national championship. Being from Louisiana, just trying to represent the home state. These alligators like these foreigners, so don't get too close to them.
Just over my right shoulder is last year's AOY Angler of the Year, Cody Milton. He's also this year's the 10 champion. He's fishing hard. He's way back up in a spot that took us a long time to get here. And Cody just missed a big fish. We've got a bunch of big airboats that are out spraying these grass mats. Well, these grass mats are where you guys have been finding fish for the last week, right?
Yep, I probably marked 7 on that far bank over there, and only one of them was still there. So I'm kind of wondering if they spooked them off.
There's no way you could have prepared or planned to know that those guys were going to be out here spraying this week. You got to adapt, right? You got to overcome and keep pushing forward.
That's true.
On to the next cast.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting.
All right, so a quick look at the NRS leaderboard. Tony Yang from Toccoa, Georgia, he's currently in the lead with 94.25 inches, not even halfway through the day. We got Mr. Matt Ball, he is in 3rd with 91.25 inches. And Dwayne Beatty, he just caught a 24-inch bass. Looking at the picture, it is just a giant, wow.
All right, guys, Cody Milton, he just hooked into a pretty good fish right here in front of us. What did that fish end up measuring?
16.5.
Let's see that fish there. So not a bad little, good coloration. Got a couple scars along top of her head there and on her back.
I think there could be a bed there.
We're gonna let Cody get out of here. There's still a ton of time in today and a ton of time in this tournament.
One of the guys that's been consistently catching fish and upgrading throughout the day is Mike Elsey from Indiana. I'm not sure if Mike has got what it takes to overcome some of the top sticks that are above him on the leaderboard, but if there's somebody that's making a charge, it's definitely Mike Elsey.
Come on, babe. Come on. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Come on. Yeah. Ah. Holy crap. Look at that. Ah, yeah. 20.75.
So yeah, that's a 6-pounder. No joke. No question. That's a 6.
One of the things that'll be intimidating for a lot of anglers in this part of Louisiana is the amount of trees. And something that you learn that works really well is finding those isolated trees where the trunk of that tree is getting more sun is the one that's gonna absorb the most heat. And that's gonna be the one that those fish pull up to. But the ones that look really good, the ones that are bassy, are the ones that are in clusters, have a lot of shade. And I think that shade is gonna cause a lot of people a lot of problems.
So I got to looking around, and I want you to look at the base of this tree and notice the water line. The water line's up here. And there hasn't been a lot of waves, there hasn't been a lot of action to push water up that trunk. It tells me that the water level is dropping. And as the water drops, it causes the fish to pull out to the outside of the cypress trees. Now, cypress trees have knees that are parts of their root system that stick up out of the ground underneath the water, and the bass will pull out to the outside edge of those knees, and that's where they'll hang out. The angler that figures that out is going to be the angler who wins today.
In some worlds, that would be a playground blown into the water. In our world, it's cover. Where'd you catch that fish? Caught it off that bouncy house right there by that big mansion. Oh, man.
So we found Christine Fisher from Nebraska. She's fishing up in a cut on the northwest side of the bank. Before we came up, she caught a 19-inch bass. She's caught several dinks since then. She's working every cypress tree, throwing a soft plastic bait on there, and then working it very slowly back to the boat. Are you finding all your fish tight to cover?
Yeah, you gotta, if you don't cast it on the tree and let it fall, you're not gonna catch them. That won't keep. Barely. 12 3/4, I'll take it. I always fish a lot better when I have a limit. I slow down and do things right, get methodical with it.
Let's go see how things are going with Chad this morning.
Brian Aliff is always a contender to be on the top of the leaderboard, consistently getting top 10 finishes across the country. Right now he's catching mid-pack fish, isn't at the top of the leaderboard, but he's gonna figure something out, and I promise you he'll be in the conversation at the end. Where are you sitting at right now in inches, do you know?
I never look.
You want me to tell you where you're at? I mean, I can look. Well, listen, good luck. We're gonna go try to find your brother in arms, Mr. Queen. I know he's out here somewhere. One of the words most often associated with the anglers that are in the conversation for top anglers is the word clutch. And that's that angler that catches the right fish at the right time to always stay in the conversation. And one of those anglers that always seems to find his way into the conversation is Jody Queen. Now, watching Jody on the water, you never see him look like he's too concerned, and he never looks like he's overdoing it, but he never stops. He fishes to the end, and more often than not, he catches that clutch fish when it matters most and gets that critical upgrade at the end of the day.
I almost caught a cat a while ago.
A catfish or an actual cat?
An actual cat. The wind caught my cast and put it up on somebody's boardwalk, and there was a cat in the bushes. It jumped out there and tried to grab my bait. I had to jerk it off real fast.
That would have been a bad idea for that cat.
Make sure there ain't no cats around.
So Jody is still currently sitting in 35th place with 82 inches, but there's a lot of jockeying for position at the top of the leaderboard. Let's check out one of the other guys and see how they're doing.
Always be careful of the friends you keep.
I don't know if I trust you at all.
Bye, Scott.
I hate that game. Like I really don't like that game. So Gene takes off that way and he goes, Scott, and waves my power pole battery in the air behind me. I'm done joking. Bring it back. I'm done. I don't like that game. And I'm gonna sulk for a little while and just be mad that he took my toy and took it home.
All right, so let's do a quick NRS leaderboard update. Looks like Glenn Landstrom from Indiana has pulled into the lead. 99.5 inches is what he's got right now. But it's about time for the sandbaggers to start loading their fish. So we'll see what happens over the next 15 to 20 minutes. Should be awesome.
That's the end of day one for the Kayak Bass Fishing National Championship. We'll be right back with coverage of day two.
Bye.